असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय।
असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय। सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतङ्गमय। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Good morning, guten Morgen. You all are here to learn languages, English, German and French and other languages. Why are you learning these languages? Because you want a good job, yes? Communication. Communication is required for what? Only in job you need communication. If you don't want a job, no communication, you can be happy, right? So job, you want to have some money. To fulfill our basic necessities of life, we need money. To have money, we need a job. Jobs require skills. Communication is one of the skills that you need. To have a good job, in a world where actually maximum number of jobs are in the service sector, not in manufacturing or in agriculture. We are all living in urban spaces. Here you can't do agriculture, only manufacturing and service sector. Okay, you have learned your language well, you have got a good job. What next? Tata kim? తర్వాత ఏం చేస్తారు? జాబ్ తర్వాత జాబ్ తర్వాత మ్యారేజ్, అవును కాదు? అవునా కాదా? ఎనీబడి వాంట్స్ టు బికమ్ లైక్ మీ? యు టెల్ మీ. Yeah. No. What follows next? I'm asking. Yes, job tarvata marriage. That will be followed by next phase in stage in life. Right. Children. Anybody wants to only marry and they don't want to make children? That's also okay. Good. India has enough number of people now, 1.4 billion. You are even if you marry, but if you don't make children, also you are helping the country because we're already 1.4 billion. So okay, you are going to make children for sure. Good. Then you have to have an aspiration. what kind of father, what kind of mother I want to become, what kind of children I want to become, bring into the world. As a generation, you should have one aspiration. What is that? The next generation should be better than what we are. మనకన్నా వచ్చే తరం ఇంకా బాగా ఉండాలనుకోవాలి. How that will happen? The next generation, aspiration should be there. Without aspiration, nothing great will happen. Today, everything we are doing mechanically. Okay, jobs have become so complex because there are job-related stress everywhere. You're running and running and running without even thinking for ourselves. I'm not asking you to think for somebody else. Okay, at least as we have come here, human beings, we should be able to think for ourselves. Whatever we do in life, we do only to enhance our happiness. We want to have a better experience of life. You're not happy with the present experience of life. You just want to enhance your happiness, have a better experience of life. Inka koncham anandam, a little more happiness, a little more joy. You want to add to your life. That's why you are doing everything. Marriage is for that only, children for that only, job for that only. Are you getting the joy that you are expecting of all these processes? But yet we are doing this, right? Mechanically, without thinking, without reflecting, ever. Without even pausing to reflect. కొంచెం ఆగి ఆలోచించడానికి కూడా ఎవరికి ఓపిక ఉండట్లేదు. No, you shouldn't conduct ourselves like this, like automatons. Not everything can be done mechanically, should not be. Particularly when you want to become a parent, a father or mother, it has to be done consciously. Why am I doing this? What kind of child I want? There also, if you do mechanically, accidentally, if you bring children into the world, they will be curses to the society. Swamiji is saying, you just see, please see the page number 112. 112, the last quote in the page. The uplift of the women, the awakening of the masses must come first, and then only can any real good come about for the country, for India. It is only in the homes of educated and pious mothers that great men are born, great men and women. It is only in the homes of the educated and pious mothers that great men and women are born. Swami used to say that, Vivekananda, all that I have achieved in my life, it's not actually because of me. Okay, credit for his achievements in life, he gives to his mother. It is she who had conceived in that way, trained him in that way. Because the very conception was different. Because when he was in the womb of the mother, Vivekananda's mother, Bhuvaneshwari Devi, she had prayed to Lord Shiva. My parents, my father and mother prayed for 2 years and have begotten me into the world, Swami said. A stamp atla undi. He says that actually. Go to 100,000 colleges, read 1,000,000 books, and associate yourself with all the learned men of the world. Better off you when born with the right stamp. Okay? Better off you are when born with the right stamp, says. Not everything that subsequently through training we achieve. There is something like that. Prenatal influence is so powerful. You know the story of Prahlada? Prahlada was born to whom? Whose child he was? Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu, who was he? A demon, Rakshasa. The mother also is a Rakshasi. So, but the child was great devotee of the Lord. How did that happen? If the genes actually, we so much believe in gene theory today, right? Inheritance of characters. Parents' genes actually, they get transmitted to children. Their parents' characters and qualities only children acquire. No, only 10 to 15% is genes, 85% is environment. Today they are calling it is epigenetics. What our rishis have been telling for ages, today scientists are corroborating and saying the same thing. Today actually there is another branch of science which is called epigenetics, which says that genes can be changed to the mind. When there is stress in the mind, gene behaves in one way. When there is no stress, when there is peace in the mind, gene behaves in one way. Mutations we call, structural changes happen in genes at a cellular level. Okay? Cancer is today actually why? Because of stress in the mind. Gene gets irritated and it gets mutated and then the tissue gets multiplied uncontrollably. That's what cancer, that's what tumor is, right? So the mind actually, the subtle, it influences the gross, the physical. It's not genes actually, it is the epigenetics, it's not the environment. What thoughts mother actually thinks. Okay? Her thought and her emotion influences the baby more than actually her genes. That's why in our culture we say Matru Devo Bhava. The Swami is saying pious mothers, not just educated and pious. Responsibilities for both on father and mother. If you pray to God, if you meditate, if you do selfless service, okay, if you repeat God's name at that point of time, children will be born with sattva, will be born with tremendous intelligence, smart kids. Everybody wants a smart kid, right? Every mother and father expects, my kid will be the best in the world. But are you doing something actually to have such a best kid in your family? You have to do some homework. No, I'm busy, I don't have time. If you don't have time, don't make children. If you don't have time, if you're busy, don't make children. Human child is not like an animal child. It's not just reproduction here. Animals, after 3, 4 days, tiger cub or lion cub, 4, 5 days maximum, mother takes care of the baby. Afterwards, the baby fends for itself. It goes on. That's all. No nurturing is required. But human baby is not like that. Unformed, it comes into the world. And it has to be nurtured when the baby is still growing in the womb of the mother only. What thought actually mother generates, what emotion she generates actually has an influence on the baby, irreversible influence. If it is positive thought and positive emotion, it's a positive influence. If it is a negative thought and negative emotion, it's a negative influence. You know how Duryodhana was born? Why he was born so wicked, all the Kauravas? Because their mother, Kaurava's mother, Gandhari, entertained this negative emotion called jealousy when they were growing in her womb. Because that negative emotion crossed her mind there at that point of time, and the children were born with jealousy, and nobody could change them subsequently, including Krishna, the Lord Himself. One person, Duryodhana. So much of counseling went, but nothing worked. You can't change. The baby is already formed. Life has already formed. We are also making attempts only after the birth of the child. I want to put in the best schools, best education, everything is secondary, not important. And the child is growing in the womb of the mother. What impetus it gets, okay, that will be with the child till the end of life. That's why Swami is better off when you are born with the right stem. It's actually a long subject. Uh, I will share some of my ideas in the next prayer meeting. Okay? Thank you. Nice day.